This afternoon I'd like to explain how to potentially test a non-system instrument using an external GPIB board. The models that are affected by this would be the 65 5X series, which is a 500 watt, and the 65 7X series, which is a 2 kilowatt. These products are fully manual instruments. No interface comes with those. To make the job easier of a technician or anyone else, it is possible to test, calibrate, and initialize the instrument using an interface. What's required is opening up the instrument, and to save time, I've taken the cover off. You can see where the inside of the instrument is. In this case, this is a non-system unit, and there's an interface board which is better known as an isolator board. And that isolator board is required so the person using the front panel can't get into any of the secondary circuits. Some of the newer instruments manufactured after 2005, we changed the instrument just a little bit, so in some cases you won't see the isolator board. So to do this, it's very simple technique. Without the power connected, you take the two cables, one from one side of the isolator board, the serial cable from the other side of the isolator board, which goes to the front panel. The first one I disconnected goes to the main board, and you take the bias cable off of the isolator board. When you're done doing your testing using the GPIB interface board, you put the cables back in the same manner that I took them off, and we'll show you that later. GPIB board is required to do this test, and there's two things as shown here. This board is got a part number associated with it, and that part number is Agilent number 5063-4851, and that's a tested assembly that you can get through Agilent support organization. Any other models of the 65 5X series, 65 4X series, and 65 7X series who are working and have a GPIB board, if you'd like, you can take that board out and use it for this testing. So the next step would be to connect the interface board to the instrument, and I'll do that next. The front panel gets connected to J108 as shown. It snaps right in. That's a serial link. The second cable coming from the control board of the instrument goes to J107 of the interface board, and that snaps in easily. And the last cable, which is very important, is the bias cable, and it is keyed, as you can see, and it gets connected to J101 on the interface board. To ensure that there's no short or safety to who's ever doing this test, an insulator of some kind, in this case I used a piece of plastic, should be used on the top of the instrument. So there's an isolation between that and the chassis. Then what you would do is put your connector to your computer, turn your instrument on, and do your testing using your automatic computer program, and that computer program can be also found in our service manual. When the test is complete, turn the power supply off, unplug the instrument, and reconnect the cables as shown. You take, and it doesn't matter which one is done first, but you take J107 and plug it into the far connector on the isolator board, and that snaps right in. Then you take the second one, which is J108, and plug that in as also shown, and then plug in the bias, and it is also keyed into the isolator board. I must say one little hint here For those instruments who don't have isolator boards, the front panel cable will be plugged directly into the control board. That's changing our design. So for those people who may have those instruments and want to do this test, this cable from the front panel serial link will be available. The cable from the power transformer bias won't be there. You'll have to get one and just connect to either an external power supply or connect to the power transformer. And you'll need to use the connection from the control board to your GPIB board serial link. And cover your instrument back up and